And you're back. Thanks for starting here. Let's talk about stuff. This is me talking about another Nintendo Switch thing, actually. But yeah, of course, right in front of me, this is not the Nintendo Switch. This is the HP Elite X3. Now, here's the deal with this thing. After seeing the Nintendo Switch in action, I think it was the first time I saw the commercial. A few hours later, I was watching a commercial about a phone, a smartphone. I'm like, yeah, I've seen a bunch of those. And they're like, look at the lines of this thing. I'm like, okay, cool. Look at all this cool stuff. Then it said, will desktop computing ever be the same? I'm like, what are you talking about? Then I see something like this. I don't know if it was the HP Elite X3, but it was something that plugs into a dock. You have something that is mobile that plugs into a dock and then it displays something on a screen. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They're already they're already got stuff like this out there already. But then I was like, this is interesting how this works. But then I realized later, what if Nintendo is trying to do stuff like this? They seem to be. They got a Switch and they could keep going. They can make things smaller, make things bigger. They could figure out how to make it, the screen, keep this, have the screen be a smaller or bigger screen if they want to. Shoot, I don't know, but they could make the dock smaller. They could do all kinds of crazy stuff. As the technology improves, they can do this kind of stuff. you know. What if it's all gonna be handheld? Like this thing, this guy here is pretty powerful. It's not as powerful as a desktop PC or anything, but it is pretty powerful. This guy has, I think there's one that has 64 gigabytes of RAM in it. Think about that. That's amazing. There's things like this, at least, with 64 gigabytes of RAM in it. And, if the Switch, the next Switch comes, does, makes things, gets close to that, gets closer to looking like this, that will be amazing. This definitely would be a workaround for the fact that in my opinion, I think I know what's going on here. People are hating on the fact that the Nintendo Switch may not be as powerful as the Xbox 360, Xbox One or PlayStation 4, and my opinion is they can't do it. They're not. It's not financially feasible for them to do that. So they basically are going with this. Trying to go someplace that Nintendo, that Sony and Microsoft can't go, especially Sony. But anyway, still, they're trying to hook this handheld market up. Yes, that's the issue. The two main console competitors aren't doing well in the handheld market, but there are. My brother had told me a little while ago that there are plenty of cell phones that are doing that, and that people are already playing games. Not just games. I know that, but no, I mean multiplayer games. I'm going okay, yeah, we'll just linking up, going online with their cell phones and playing games on there, and it's online and stuff. They're already doing stuff like that, and he's wondering about the Nintendo Switch. Is just going to be just buried by stuff like this, and in some ways it might be. But one thing I like about this is that it's still a Nintendo, still a Nintendo product. As long, in my opinion, they should not, unless they have no choice, they should not put their basically release their software onto everything. If they have no choice, then go on ahead. But if they can basically say we have our Nintendo device, you can buy. If you want a device, buy a Nintendo device. You can use Nintendo games, on that Nintendo device, and play that. If that's what you want to do, that could be awesome. That could really be awesome. I would like to see that. Because they say I was saying a long time ago. Things are getting so complicated with all the game systems. The main three game systems: Nintendo, yes, Sony and Microsoft's game systems. That eventually I was going like, oh, they're gonna make you're gonna say like, hey, do you want what kind of PC do you want? Do you want the Nintendo PC, the Xbox PC, or the PlayStation PC? And while Xbox and Microsoft are both Microsoft and Sony are both going for PC type stuff, Nintendo is going for something a bit different, a handheld, but with things like this out, and Rich from UTech saying stuff about like I was able to play PlayStation 2 like games on an old smartphone, and consoles could be replaced by things like this, they could do that. Nintendo could be stepping toward having a handheld console. That's just this is the first one. They gradually change the design, make the design better, sleeker, and more powerful over time in this way. That might work better for them. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. Seeing things like this, You're seeing that the Nintendo Switch does does the same stuff. Basically, it's very interesting. I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do with that stuff next. I'm very interested in the Switch. I was interested in the Switch when I first saw it. Now I'm even more interested in it because this could be something that they're trying to work toward this. This is cool. I gotta try this XP Elite X3 sometime. But if I can switch first, there's a few other things I gotta buy before I buy this thing. Definitely want a capture card, so I'm gonna give me some stuff. But eventually, when that thing is low enough the price, I'll totally get that. But yeah, we'll have to see. So yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm still definitely. There's issues with the Nintendo Switch, of course, battery life and power. So in some ways, battery life and game quality are two of them, but are my main issues. But yeah, still, they're doing some cool stuff, in ways that they can do it, that they feel they can do it, you know. So I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to buying that sometime. So check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt, especially my Superman Doomsday stuff on DeviantArt and on YouTube. Chrono Trigger is back, and I'm gonna make new episodes very soon, and more backpack reviews and other things where I talk about different things. See you guys next time.